Welcome to UFO Seekers. I'm Lead Investigator Tim Doyle, and I'm here to teach you about UFO sightings. And today we're moving beyond the introduction. So if you haven't seen Introduction to UFO Sightings, please go back to that video and complete that one. This is the second part where we're covering Advanced UFO Sightings. So again, this is a part 2. So go watch part 1, this is part 2. And also, forewarning for anyone who's on the consumer end of UFOs. So if you aren't interested in the business end, we call it, which is the investigatory end, which is more of the business end, not the consumer end, creativity, just watching entertainment for entertainment's sake, or if you're into UFOs and aliens, say spiritually, religiously, or your opinions are very strong, this isn't the video for you, so I urge you to shut the video off. Let's dig deep because we want to know all about investigating this difficult topic of UFO sightings. And so we're getting a little more advanced. We've moved beyond the common terminology. We also talked about are UFOs real and how we shouldn't say things like that. We're actually talking about a UFO sighting. UFO sightings are real. And then also we spoke about the value of investigating this topic, especially from a military perspective, because civilians should be looking out for foreign military aircraft and reporting it to their governments and military. If you went out right now, what would you see? And when people are reporting stuff to me, I've been working in the field and also at headquarters where I receive emails, phone calls, stuff in the mail, drawings. And so from that work experience, what have I seen? One of the main things that I've seen when I go out to skywatch for UFO sighting activity. So let's say I wanted to see some type of UFO sighting myself. What do I typically see when I go out? Well, satellites. And so typically when we're skywatching, we would start in the daytime here and end at the daytime here. Now, in the center, when it's completely like midnight, let's just assume it was 6 hours before, 6 hours after that the sun was coming up, the sun was going down, yada, yada, yada. So at midnight, you shouldn't really see satellites because satellites up in space are reflecting sunlight. Let's just say there's no moon. So we're going to see satellites from dusk and in dawn time. And in the middle of the night, we shouldn't see satellites really. Satellites have solar panels, and when the satellites are orbiting above us, out of the atmosphere, up in space, the sun rays are still hitting the satellite. So when we're down here on Earth, we see the satellite reach a perfect angle point where it's reflecting sunlight or moonlight. So a satellite is typically just a solid white light, no flashing. It comes out of nowhere. There's just darkness, and then all of a sudden this light comes on. It moves solid until it eventually disappears. Now, these things never move in a straight line because remember, up in orbit, when we're looking at it, we're going to see it more elliptical because of just the way the Earth is designed and how we're sitting and our perspective. That's how it comes off. So when a satellite is floating above us, it's going to move like in an elliptical type orbit, like almost a half circle. It's not just going to be going in a straight line. So that's another way that we can kind of perceive an airplane versus a satellite. An airplane is going to go more in a straight line because it's down in the atmosphere like us, only thousands of feet up in the air. It's going to go to a straight line, maybe 100 miles away, because you can only see about 100 miles when you're down on the ground because of the curvature of the Earth. So a plane is going to go straight. A satellite's going to move in an elliptical orbit. Now, satellites can also flash. They could flash once, they could flash twice, they could be random flashing. Seriously, like all the time I see these satellites which have random flashes, like 8 times different luminosity. It's nothing, you can't really see it for a while, and you can tell it's still on the same trajectory, and then you see another bright blink. So just remember that satellites come in different versions of how you're going to see the light. Next thing we see most is going to be falling stars or meteorites entering the atmosphere. We're going to see the flaming balls that they kind of look like, the orbs, flaming orbs entering the atmosphere, followed by a extended trail. Now, these things can be all different colors. And remember that. They could be green, They could be red, they could be blue, they could be white, they could be orange, and that's because whatever the meteorite is made of, that's what's causing the different colors, because you have the materials burning up in the atmosphere and also gases which are trapped inside of meteorites escaping as it's catching on fire, because a meteorite is traveling at fast speeds out in space. Then it comes towards Earth, hits the atmosphere, and because of oxygen particles and just particles in the atmosphere is impacting those things as it hits the atmosphere, and is actually those oxygen particles and other things which are causing it to heat up, the gases escape, and that's why we're seeing the different colors. I know this is redundant for those of us who are grown-ups, but maybe there's some younger people who are watching, and so that's why I've included that redundant information. One of the main things that gets reported to me is literally just like a pin light on a black background. So 99% of the time when a UFO sighting is reported that I receive, say by email, it's going to just be a black picture with a singular light. It proves nothing, unfortunately, and is very frustrating, but that's okay because people don't know. They're taught by Hollywood, and they're taught by adults who want to deceive them, and they're taught by the mainstream media who's just looking to monetize and advertise content that they can't produce themselves, right? So the media is always out there looking for content that they can grab and take and then run advertisements behind it, so they don't really care about the UFO topic like we do. So that's kind of what happens out in the public. The public thinks that a light in the sky is an alien spaceship. That's how bad the news media and also Hollywood know it's just a light in the sky. And in fact, if it's just a satellite, it's not even a light bulb emitting light. Find an old box of Reynolds wrap, look on it, because it says the aluminum foil came about in 1947. When was the Roswell crash? 1947. So if you had someone then who said, I took a piece of metal, folded it, crumpled it, and then unfolded it, the world moves fast and technology moves fast. And a lot of what W.W. Brazel said that he found in that bush was just pieces and sticks no more than 3 feet long. I massively researched what Brazel said himself. The man who never said it was an alien. Never said it was an alien spaceship. It was the Army who said it was an alien spaceship. And I'm going to ingrain that into your mind. It was an Army intelligence officer. There was actually a reward out for parts of whatever people were seeing at those times. And Brazel had discovered something where he was working, which was just by White Sands Missile Range, and he found some debris which contained aluminum foil, which no one knew about because aluminum foil was released into the market like that in 1947 by Reynolds Wrap. You can look at the box. It says since 1947. So we need to keep these technological ideas in perspective, because right now, a lot of us are victims to the US Navy alien spaceship war, which is actually just drone swarms and drone technology finally being shown to the public, because they've been hiding these things for like 70 years. The military's been flying drones for a really long time. Really long time. Even on the SR-71. Don't talk. Let's also look at the progression of UFO sightings. We have back in the 40s when it began, these objects were typically aluminum and silver. Then UFOs began to become black. Then they were triangle shaped. And now they're really small and move really fast. Let's start in the beginning. Military aircraft were aluminum in color. Then military aircraft began to have stealth paint, because it's the black paint that absorbs radio waves. We start making the stealth fighter, the stealth bomber, the triangle objects. So again, UFOs become triangles. And now we have drone technology and drone swarms. So UFOs have become these little small things that move crazy, crazy, crazy. It's a public relations show. They still have pilots in aircraft. And UFO celebrities don't want to tell you that. Hollywood does not want to tell you that. The mainstream media, they don't want to tell you that. They want you to think that an F-18, that's like the highlight of the technology that the military has, man. Seriously. I mean, it takes like a whole mile to take off, and then it has these 2 jet things in the back, and it has a camera that sees in thermal. FLIR. In the same way that we don't pretend to be computer engineers or rocket scientists, the news media shouldn't pretend to be UFO and alien investigators. They just embarrass themselves. When we think about things in the sky and they move fast, they move with G-forces that couldn't be experienced by a human. The UFO celebrity says, a human couldn't experience the G-forces, so because the object moves so fast, it's an alien. They're all flown with automated technology or remote pilots sitting in a cargo container somewhere else, somewhere like March Air Reserve Base, somewhere like 29 Palms. Now we know there's a tic-tac shaped object, the multi-kill vehicle, I think it's called. You can see videos of it everywhere. But that tic-tac is one of the objects that mainstream media claims is an alien spaceship on Earth. So that's part of this advanced training, is understanding that there are drones out there like the spherical ball that Tracy and I caught in 2017 in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and then also tic-tac shaped objects, which are using space-type satellite thrusters to move in the air, in the water, out in space, to shoot down bad things that would hurt people. Why do we investigate UFO sightings? Because it's important. There's a huge value to it. We want to know if aliens are visiting Earth. We need serious people to be taken serious, not just say, hey, triangles are aliens, like happens out on the mainstream media all the time. We need serious people to be serious about the UFO topic long term. And that way, we're all safe. Because if it's a missile, because if it's some type of delivery system, delivering something bad, we all need to know. And so, that brings me to the conclusion here. And don't worry, there'll be lots more parts where this training course continues on, but I just ad-lib here. Just like if we met face to face, this is exactly how I talk to people. And that's what we're trying to do here through this training course. You're here with Tim Doyle, lead investigator at UFO Seekers, talking face to face. I'm no different than you're seeing right now when I meet an individual in public. I say the same things. I don't tell them that aliens built pyramids and deny that slave labor exists. No, I tell them that humans built pyramids. I tell them that the military runs propaganda and deceptions. And I also tell them that I'm totally into searching for aliens that might be visiting Earth because people claim that they've seen aliens, people report UFO sightings, etc. I've caught a spherical ball in 2017, and so I want to know too, are aliens visiting Earth? And so we take it serious from all kinds of different facets. But we're changing the way people think about the UFO community, and we're changing the way you think so that you don't get deceived, because there's a lot of scam artists out there, a lot of cult leaders out there, even in powerful positions, who are there to take advantage of belief systems. So we're trying to crush through those things and use my work experience out in the real field as a UFO investigator. I'm not some newspaper dude who spent some time looking at something. I'm not some magazine guy or some, movie actor who wanted to look at something for temporarily. This is my life. It's not helped. I just want to say it has not helped my life at all, okay? It's not like I sit here and make all this money, okay? Trust me, okay? We're doing this in the dirt here, all right? Because when you don't support the mainstream narratives, okay, they drive you into the ground, and it's okay. I don't mind getting dirty for the truth, because the truth will set you free.